Hello guys, welcome. So today we are going to see the first question in Leetcode. The first question in Leetcode is to sum. Let's check the description. So basically, given an array of two integers nums and an integer target, return the number of indices of the two numbers such that they add up to target. So basically they have given an array of integers which is named nums and an integer target, and they say return the indices of the two numbers such that they add up to the target. You may assume that each target input would have exactly one solution and you may not use the same element twice. So basically we cannot use the same element twice to get the target, and they have mentioned that exactly one and only solution is available in the array. So there is no exceptional case, there is always a solution and it's going to be the only solution. So as soon as we find the solution we have to return it. No need to find the other solutions. You may return the answer in any order. So basically the order is not necessarily mentioned, so we don't need to use sort or anything else before returning the answer. So for these types of questions, first we have to check the input size. If the input size is less than 10 to the power of 8, then we can also use brute force solution. But when it comes to interview, we have to use O to the power of n solutions. Uh, so first we will check the input size. It's always in the down. Yes, as you can see the constraints, the nums of length, which is the array, and its length is from 2 to 10 to the power of 4, which is less than 10 to the power of 8. So yes, we can use a brute force solution and get the result. But when it comes to an interview, a more optimized solution is always mandatory. Yes, you can do it, but they will always ask for an optimized approach. So for this question, how to solve it? So basically there is an array and we have to find two elements. I mean like the indices, which is the index of these two elements such that they add up to the target. So basically here the target is 9. So the first two elements add up to 9. So we have to return either 0 of 0 comma 1 or 1 comma 0. So how do we do it? So this is the very classic example for an hash map question. So let's see. First we need to declare an set. Why set, not in dictionary in Python? Because uh, here we don't need to use set, we need to use dictionary because we need to return the indices. So we need to store the indices, so we need to use dictionary. So we are going to declare a dictionary instead of set. But if in the case of just return the numbers which result in the target, means we just use the set. So here d is equal to that set. We have declared a dictionary. Then we need to traverse through the array. If not in dictionary, we update the element and so on. So let's see. First, for use a for loop, we traverse through an array for I in range of length of nums. Okay, we have traversing through the array where I traverse through the indices because we have used the range. So it's go from 0 to the length of the array. Here in Python it's list, but let's say, so here is 2, 7, 11, 15. So the length is 4. So 0 to 3 the I will traverse. Next, if nums of I, first we need to create we need to check whether the required number is in the dictionary already. So so basically, if let me explain this clearly in the blackboard. uh, if there are two numbers, I plus j is equal to target, and if we're traversing through an array, let's assume the traversing current index is I, so it would be like j plus I is equal to target. It's both the same, but just to make it easier to understand, we are doing it like this. So we need to find j. How to find j? J is equal to target minus I. That's it. So this is what we are going to implement. J is equal to target minus I. If it already exists in the dictionary, then we already found the pair. So let's see. J is equal to target minus nums of I. If j in dictionary return uh, d of j, because j comes before I, because we are seeing in scene. So basically, if we are traversing I and we already found the element, so basically j already exists, so j has to be the first element. So d of j, which is the index of the j, comma I is already an index, not an element in the array, it's an index. So basically we have found it. That's because we use return, it's the function automatically terminated as soon as the function, inside the function, when we hit return, when we reach return, it automatically terminates. It returns the result or not. If it is a void, the functions terminates, so no need to write break here. Next is, what if we don't see? For if we don't see, we add it. D of nums of I is equal to I. But this will cause an error, because if d of nums of I doesn't exist, it will throw an error. So what you have to do is either use default dictionary or do this trick. If d of nums of I not in, sorry, for nums of I not in d, d of nums of I is d of nums of I is equal to just I think you don't need it. So d of nums of I is equal to I. It will throw an error if the I is in a list, but here I is just a number. So I don't think it will throw an error. So for I, J, we are updating. So basically here we don't need to do any further because they have already mentioned that there will be a one and only answer or solution to this question, and we have to return it, and we will find it and we will return it, so no need further. Let's check. Let's run it. Yes, all the test cases have passed. Let's submit it. See, that's it. Thank you.